Hello Miss Samar, you recently was in Doha debates and you was against the topic about marriage between close family members should be discouraged. Ms. Samar, before we begin the interview, I want to know, why do you think this article is important in this case?
I think this topic are important for our society because a lot of people think that if they marriage between close family members, their children will have a health problem such as thalassemia, drysis. Moreover, nowadays not like before. For example, before they don't have a blood test before they married, but now there is a blood test before they married, and they know if there is any disease. In our world we have a lot of technology to predict what will happen for the children from the blood test, and no one can get married without this test.
What do you mean by families feel comfortable if their daughter marry within the family?
I mean they'll feel comfortable because of the presence of their daughter with someone who grew up among them with the similarity of thought and customs and traditions.
What do you think is the main issue if the daughter marry without the family member?
The main issue if the daughter married without the family, a daughter who married a stranger that he could be away, thought the daughter different from the other family, thought where it is possible that there will be behavior allowed at her family and not permitted with a stranger husband who is not from the family.
Are you assuming that married from the family will help the family have strong ties?
I am assuming that it is possible to marry from the family is the reason for the strengthening of family ties between the two families, due to the presence daughter in a family that recognize them well, including helping to strengthen the relationship between them, and consequently could lead more people intermarry between the families.
How can you verify your assumption that if your daughter marry without the family will not have a strong ties?
It is possible that reason for this is the distance between the two families, which leads to a lack of communication among themselves, and this reduces family communication, and this leads to lack strength in ties.
What do you think causes happen if the daughter marry a strange person?
It is possible to change the daughter think in opposition to the behavior of some members of her family thinking. Consequently, this leads to occurrence of differences between the daughter and the family, which leads to dispersion of the family.
Could you explain your reason that if the daughter married from the family or outside the family?
The reason is that it is possible to be a marriage between family members because of the recommendation of grandparents or older people. So, it is possible to be a marriage between the two is not from the same family as a result of love or admiration.
What are the weaknesses in your view about the marry with strange person?
The weak point that will occur is the difficulty of understanding between the two families if there are disagreement between the couples, and the difficulty of access to a solution that would satisfy both parties.
What is a counter-argument to your view of the marriage between close family members helps a family have stronger ties?
The counter-arguments are that there are many families in which case the marriage occur without the presence of any family ties between each other, and they live a happy life, and this led to the strengthening of the relationship between the two families after the marriage, and consequently to change think family.
What is an alternative consequence to your prediction that the daughter marry within the family members?
The alternative consequence is to contain differences that arise between the couple and try to non-arrival of their differences to official destinations, such as court, where the two families contribute to solve the problem among themselves.
What effect would it has happened if the two families have a problems after a period of time?
The problems between the two families could lead to separate the couple and the dispersion of the children. And this leads the loss of children, and that is all means of communication between the families and the couple.
Why the marriage between close family members topic is important?
This topic is important because a lot of families do not prefer this kind of marriage. We should try as much as possible to change the idea of the community about this topic by creating lectures and symposia to educate families.
This is the last question in our interview. How does the marriage between close family members affect everyday life?
The impact that happens in everyday life that it will increase the link between the relatives, and our Islam urged the need of communication between the relatives to strengthen family ties and build a close-knit community.
Thank you for your time, Miss Samar. It was a really interesting topic for me also. I hope you enjoy the interview with me, and I apologize to you about any question you have caused embarrassment.
You are welcome, and this is a great honor for me to be in this interview. I hope from the bottom of my heart that we meet again in another interesting dialogue in a short period of time.